Hey there, y'all. My name's Nathan here at Endless River Adventures, and today we're going to talk about how to outfit your brand new Liquid Logic boat. I like to start by getting the bulkhead adjusted. That's going to be that piece up inside the bow of the boat that you're pushing your feet up against. And for proper bulkhead placement, you want to be sitting comfortably in your seat. You want your knees and thighs up inside of these thigh hooks. Your toes should be pressed against that bulkhead, and your heels should be maybe an inch to an inch and a half away from that bulkhead just to give you a little bit of room to move inside of your kayak. So here we're looking inside the cockpit, and you can see we've got this little nut here that's holding this metal piece, and there's going to be one of these on either side of the interior of the cockpit, and this is going to be how you move that bulkhead forward and backwards. So first we're going to go ahead and loosen that little thing up, take that off, then we can pop this off and we can move that forward or backward as needed. All right, so now we're looking at the interior of the bow, and in front of us we can see the right side of the bulkhead where your right foot will go, and then holding the bulkhead in place is this metal piece that is referred to as the hockey stick, just because of its shape. We can see that the hockey stick curves around behind the bulkhead and is bolted in with a Phillips head bolt. Now, if we wanted to adjust that hockey stick, we would use that Phillips head bolt to do it. And there's a couple of reasons why we would want to adjust that. First of all, if we slide that bulkhead out towards the nose of the boat, eventually, as we get towards the nose, those hockey sticks will start to come in contact with the interior of the bow. And when that happens, we may need to adjust them a little bit. So we can loosen that bolt and slide it in towards the middle of the kayak, and that will allow, and then retighten it, and that will allow the bulkhead to move further out. And vice versa, if we are moving the bulkhead in towards the seat and we're experiencing some wiggle side to side that we want to get rid of, we can loosen that bolt and move the hockey stick out towards the interior of the bow, slide that bolt out, and then tighten it back down to prevent any slippage side to side. At this point, we also have the option of installing this foot pad that comes with every one of these Liquid Logic boats. And this is just going to provide a little bit of extra cushion. Keep in mind, it was also going to add a little bit of thickness to your bulkhead, so you may need to adjust your bulkhead away from the seat a little bit if you're going to add this pad. This pad is also scored, so you can see around the edges where you can pull off a layer of the pad so that it fits up in there. If your bulkhead is further out towards the nose of the boat, you're going to need to take some of these scored pieces off so that it fits further up in the nose. If it's closer in, you can actually leave those things on or leave more of them on so that it fits the wider part of this bow closer in towards the seat. And to fit this in, there is a slit running horizontally in the foam that supports the bow of the boat. You'll turn it sideways, slide it into that slit, turn it up, and then push it forward up against your bulkhead. All right, now we've got one more thing to talk about that has to do with the bulkhead up inside of the boat, and that's going to be the B plate. And we'll take a look back inside the boat real quick to show you what this thing does and where it goes. But keep in mind, this is just an additional piece that comes with the boat, and make a note right now that there is this little hole right here in the middle for a bolt so that this thing can be bolted in. All right, so we're back inside the boat, and as you can see, we're looking at the hockey stick that helps to hold the bulkhead in place, and where the holes end on the hockey stick right here, there is a red label. Below that red label, there are actually more holes, so you can adjust that bulkhead in closer to the seat. However, to do so, you've got to take that red label off. So if you have to take that red label off and move that seat in closer, that's when the B plate comes into play. That is something that you will need to use to widen your bulkhead and prevent the space that is created between the bulkhead and the exterior of the hull of the boat. And the reason that you're trying to get rid of that space is at the point that the bulkhead gets any closer, you could actually get a foot or something stuck up in that space. And that's something that the B plate is designed to help us avoid. So let's move a little further in here. And now we can see on the bulkhead there's a Phillips head bolt that is holding the hockey stick to the bulkhead there. And then even further in, we've got right in the middle, there's another little bolt there. And then on the other side of the center pillar, there is the third bolt holding the hockey stick to the bulkhead on the opposite side. Now, all three of those bolts will need to be removed to install the B plate. And you'll take those bolts out, you'll set the B plate right up against that bulkhead, and then you'll put all those bolts back in to secure that B plate down against the bulkhead and widen that bulkhead up a bit.
Next, we'll talk about how to adjust this seat backwards and forwards. Like most kayaks, this has come set somewhere in the middle, and generally right about in the middle is where you want to be. But again, if you are unsure of exactly where you want to be, go ahead and get your bulkhead adjusted. Sit in your boat in the water, have somebody take a picture, and if you are leaning too far forward or too far backward, you basically want to move your seat towards whichever end is sticking up higher. So you want ideally both ends to be about even. But if you do need to adjust this seat, you'll notice on either side you've got these two bolts here, and there's two of them over here as well. And you're going to go ahead and loosen those up, and you just want to loosen them. You do not want to fully take them out. They can be really difficult to get back in because those bolts, essentially, they drop through this plastic and then through this plastic here and are connected to a track down here. And so once you've loosened the bolts on this side and on this side, you should be able to slide that seat back and forth on that track before you then tighten those bolts back down where they need to be. Moving on to the hip pads. I really love the way that Liquid Logic has integrated their hip pads into their system here. Essentially, this fabric piece that's connected to the rest of the seat covers those hip pads and holds them in place very, very nicely, makes it really comfortable. So to add or subtract hip pads, you'll unvelcro the top of this, open it up, and you can see right in here where that hip pad fits in. So when you're first getting your hip pads in there, each boat comes with one of these hip pads as well as a set of two shims. If you need more, we have them for you. Just ask us down at the front desk in the store. But basically, you'll take that hip pad, make sure the bump is up towards the top, and slide that down into that little pocket there. And there's Velcro that will hold it in place, as well as this piece of fabric that's holding it in place. Again, just does a really good job of making sure that hip pad is sitting right where you want it to be. Go ahead and throw one of those hip pads in either side, sit down in it. If you need more, go ahead and start adding shims behind that hip pad. Here we can see how the back band works with the system. We've got the back band itself, and Liquid Logic actually uses a rigid plastic back band, which really helps to hold that back band in place and doesn't allow it to fall down. But basically, you've got your rigid plastic back band right here coming up to your ratchet straps. Just like most kayaks, you've got the loosening feature. It's these black buttons right here, and then to tighten, we'll ratchet that up on either side.
to tighten that back band in. Now, for comfort, we have this, again, this integrated fabric piece that works with the seat, and that folds over that rigid back band and Velcros in behind it, creating just this really, really nice, comfy seat here. Um, that single piece comes down and also creates the padding of the seat. Now, some people do feel like they want to have their seat lifted up a little bit more. And if you do want to lift that seat up, if you don't feel like you're sitting high enough up in your boat, they actually do sell these pieces that will help bump that seat up. So you can buy one of these. We've got them here in the store. And basically what you'll do is you'll take out these two middle ones and front two out. That seat piece will lift up. You can slide that piece of foam in underneath it just like that. And then you can use those rivets to pop back through that seat and hold it back down to the roto-molded base of the seat here. Keep in mind, these little rivets, they're a little bit finicky. So when you do pull those things out, sometimes they will break. And this extra seat actually comes with a bunch of extra little rivets as well. So make sure you hang on to those because you will probably need them. All right, so that's pretty much everything on how to outfit your new Liquid Logic boat. All you need now is some float bags and you are ready to go. So from everybody here at Endless River Adventures, thank you. We hope to see you out on the river soon.